Alright guys, I'm going to show you my process on how I mix flake. Everyone mixes flake a little bit different, but I'm going to show you my process. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying that it's the right way to do it, but this is the way I do it. I get questions like this all the time on how do I mix it, how much do I put in there, those kind of things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you step by step on what I do when I mix flake, when I'm spraying a bike, car, whatever. This is for full coverage on 1 or 2 coats. You want to keep your coats down when you're doing flake because all the millage is going to cause lots of problems later on. Lifting, delamination, all that kind of stuff. So follow along while we mix some flake. First things first, when I start mixing flake, usually my first step is mixing up the inner coat first. I usually like mixing my inner coat up first because it helps make sure that that's mixed up accurately. I'm using Matrix MXB 400 from the Matrix Edgeline as my inner coat. It's just a base coat binder. It's basically the same thing as colorless base coat. It's got a little bit of a milky color to it, but it all goes away once it's mixed. It's mixed 1-to-1, so about 200 grams and 200 grams of reducer. I do mix everything on my scale. If you don't have a scale, they got scales everywhere. Harbor Freight, look on OfferUp, I'm sure you can find something. But that's my way to get things accurately measured. Everyone's got their own way to do stuff. This is the way that works best for me. Like I said, just because, when I'm doing production work or trying to make sure I match something, I always make sure that I can, use like a formula that I've used before, or make sure I kind of mix everything the same way. And it makes it easy so there's no like variance. If I do have a customer that's asking for like heavy flake or a certain type of flake, obviously that mix is going to be a little bit different, but this mix is going to help generally for any time that you're mixing flake. And whenever you're mixing flake, you want to get close to as much of a full coverage on one pass as much as possible. So I always suggest doing things like, color matching your base coat to your flake. So for instance, the bike I'm spraying right now, or bikes I'm spraying right now, they're both, the base coat's going to be silver. So I got silver down already, so I'm just going to be using a silver flake on top of it. And like I said, so I mixed my inner coat first, and yeah, I've got it in this cup that's all taped up, but that's what it looks like. It's just inner coat mixed up. So next what we're going to do is we're going to start mixing and getting our flake mixture together. So what we're going to do is we're going to be mixing my favorite flake to use, Brian Paint Huffer. Brian's been a good guy. He's been a supporter of me for a long time. I've known Brian for 5-6 years now. What I'm using today is 50/50. So this is a blend of micro and your standard flake, and it just helps with getting that full coverage look faster. This is my go-to flake when I'm doing stuff. 90% of the time, I'm using the 50/50. I also do stuff sometimes when I'm mixing flake or spraying something. If I really want a nice flake dance, a luster, when it's all done and cleared, what I'll do sometimes is I'll mix a micro silver first as a one pass. So I'll mix up a little bit of this, go over, get everything kind of ground coat, and then once I want the full coverage, I'll come and mix another batch of the 50/50. So that way it's got that full coverage, that nice depth to the flake. It doesn't just kind of lay flat on top. It's got a nice like depth to it. That's what I really like doing in my flake job. So let's show you how we're going to do this. And it's going to be real simple. So this is a 20-ounce cup. These are, 4-ounce jars of flake. They weigh a little bit more, but it's a 4-ounce jar of flake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I mix this. So I just opened up the packaging, and what we're going to do is just open this up like this, and we're just going to pour straight in the cup. And the reason why I'm pouring in here first is because I don't want the flake to be on top, because this helps absorb everything a little bit better, and it helps show you exactly where you're going to be. And what I'm going to be doing today, because I got a full Road King I'm doing in there, is I'm pretty much going to be doing 75% of this jar right here. So for instance, here we go. So it's about 75% of there, and a little bit more isn't ever going to hurt. Now, key to this is basically 2 parts to 1 part flake. So what I got in here is about, I'll show you in the cup, about there. So for full coverage, you want to go about 2 parts on that. So what I mixed up was, you know, about that much, and I'm not going to use all of that intercoat when I go in there. I took the cup off of it so you can actually see how much I'm putting in there. If you want to know weight wise, you know, what I'm basically putting in there is about 150 grams of mixed intercoat. A little bit more, about 200 of mixed intercoat. So this is going to give me as much coverage as I want. And as you see, it's bubbling. That just helps mix everything together. I'm not a big fan of stir sticks and stuff. That's why I like the PPS cups. So usually what I do is I just stick the cover right on the top of it and go ahead and start going at it. So one thing you got to remember when you're using these cups is to make sure to pull out the liner inside of there. If you don't pull out the liner inside of there, you're going to be in there spraying and you're going to go, what the hell just happened? Why isn't any of my material coming through? The flake is bigger than the micron count for the filter, so it's not going to make it through. Never. You're going to get small parts in there. You're going to be spraying a whole lot of intercoat. You're going to get a whole lot of millage on there. Nothing's going to happen. So do yourself a favor and cut this thing out. So get in there, get that thing out of there. And then the way I mix everything up is I just stick my can on there, the top on there, and then give it a good shake. If your fingers are clean, give it a good shake. The nice thing about these PPS cups is it's got these tops on there, so you can push in the bottom just a little bit in the cup so you don't get a air bubble in there. Put your lid on there, give it a nice shake, and as you can see, we got a nice mix of flake going on there. So once you pop that open, it'll burp itself, and then like I said, you can see we got a nice little, you know, mix of flake in there. And then that's pretty much how I mix everything. Like I said, that's good enough for full coverage on 1 coat. The gun I use for everything is a 3M PPS, 3M AccuSpray. This goes directly for these PPS cups. The nice thing about these guns is that you can pop this top off, and this is the 2.0 tip. So this is going to shoot this flake out of there and get you real nice coverage. First coat, just 1 nice coat all the way around. Try to get it even. Go, you know, get everything on there. The nice thing about this PPS system is that when you're done flaking, if you want to clean this out, you can clean it out, use it again. I usually get about 5 to 10 uses out of it. Yeah, that's a big number, but there is some, you know, issues with manufacturing on some of these tops. Some of them come out great, some of them are dog shit. So invest in the system if you want to. It makes it super easy to spray everything. Like I said, you can spray everything. When you're done, pop it off of the gun, clean your needle, clean your gun, throw this away, throw the PPS cup away, be done. You don't got to clean a steel cup, get in there, waste a bunch of thinner. It makes it super easy. And the nice part is if you do have flake over and you're like, man, I got something I want to flake tomorrow, pop the lid on there, stick it in an area where it's, you know, moderately cool, and that shit will last you for at least another couple days. So, like I said, this system really helps. That's what I use. You don't have to use it, but that's what I use. 2.0 tip goes in there. The 2.0 makes it real easy. It's red, so you know which one it is. Throw your gun on there, and you're ready to go. So, another thing, don't forget to put your collar. I can't tell you how many times I've been out there and going out there and like, oops, I'm missing a piece. So throw your collar on there. Make sure your gun's clean. Made it together. Push in the bottom a little bit. Give it a little shake. You're ready to spray.